Hi, I'm Carter.
And I'm Kennedy.
Reporting for Kids First, and today we have the pleasure of attending the Phineas and Ferb premiere for Season 5, which premieres on Disney Channel on June 5th, and the next day on June 6th on Disney+. Let's go talk to the creators and voice actors that make this show laugh out loud funny.
Alright, Phineas and Ferb debuted in 2007. How have you adapted to cultural changes and trends, especially with the youth, over the years to keep this show relevant?
I don't know. I think we're pretty much immune to trends and stuff like that. We just sort of keep moving forward the direction we were going and hope it all works out.
But technology keeps changing, and so now the kids all have smartphones, which is fun because it helps us, when they need to get information or something like that. But what we never really comment on is the fact that most smartphones, all smartphones are also cameras.
Don't say that.
So easily Candace could take a picture of something and text it to her mom, but we just don't even talk about that. That's not a real thing we deal with. Yeah, because that would break the show. So we use the parts of technology that help us write funnier episodes and ignore the rest.
We do.
I'm sure you have heard from all the fans over the world what this series means to them or their favorite episode. But what has created this series meant to you?
I feel grateful that I'm doing something that I am made aware of on an almost daily basis has had a positive impact on people's lives, their families. And I know a lot of people go through life and are not sure if they've, brought something positive into the world. We're lucky enough to hear on a daily basis that the show that all of the people who've worked on it has brought to people's lives. That's pretty cool.
What was your first impression of the show and the character when you read the script?
My first impression? Well, I knew most importantly when I was coming up with the voice of Phineas, when I was creating this voice, is that they always wanted Phineas to sound optimistic, creative, excited. And so that's how I ended up making a voice like this and being super excited and super energetic. I wanted a voice that would make anyone who heard it smile like you're doing right now. I wanted it to make you feel happy and energetic. And that's what I remember most about the process of auditioning and booking the character.
Do you have any idea at the time how massive Phineas and Ferb would become?
No, I definitely had no idea it would ever become so big. I mean, you never think that about something that you work on. I believed in this show, and I always have since the day that I read the script. I always thought it was amazing. But you can never expect something to become this big and to have, this kind of impact where, there are people my age who grew up watching the show, and I grew up making the show, and then there are people your age, Carter, who love the show too. And so to be on something that has meant so much to multiple generations of people, that's so rare, and it's unbelievably fortunate that I get to do something like this. I love it.
What is your favorite episode of Phineas and Ferb?
I'm part Christmas elf in my genetics, so I love the Christmas episode where they're making a spa for Santa, and Buford keeps calling it a clubhouse. Yeah.
I think I dig the Christmas episode as well, even though there's still something about the very first episode where they built the roller coaster. That just holds a place because that was where we all started, And
I mean, it's so nice they did it twice.
Right, yes, exactly.
How do your guys' characters affect your lives?
Oh, Ferb has been such a tremendous gift. Vincent is literally my best friend, and that wouldn't have happened without being involved in this show. It's also been kind of a skeleton key for getting into some rooms for auditions, opportunities, and jobs. Which, you say, oh yeah, I'm Ferb on Phineas and Ferb, and people are like, I love Dan and Swampy! And then you get another job. You're like, okay, I will take that association.
Your character, Candace, is a little intense, dramatic, and hilarious. How do you approach voicing Candace in the studio?
I just like to have fun with her. I've done voiceover work since I was 10 years old, so it is kind of like a second nature thing, but playing Candace for so long, it's very easy to tap into her. And I just do crazy stuff. I don't even know what I do, but I'm just throwing stuff in the lines. And if I can make Dan and Swampy laugh, I've done my job.
If Candace did finally bust her brothers, what do you think she'd do next?
I don't know if she'd be on the show anymore. I think she'd be off the show. I don't know. They'd be like, oh, suddenly something happened to Candace. Just kidding.
Perry does not speak, but he conveys a lot with just sounds. How do you approach a character like that compared to your speaking roles?
The funny thing about Perry is that most of what he does is make a single sound that's not attached to any kind of movement or behavior. But sometimes he'll snore or he'll make an effort, and I'm usually performing that to pictures. So I see what the brilliant writers and animators have done, and I'm making a sound that helps to complement that. And so often I'm not working necessarily from a script, but I'm working off of the video picture. And that's sort of my script, and that's telling me the sound to make and what needs to happen as far as his sounds.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's very interesting. It's a little different with every episode, what they need. Sometimes they don't need anything, just the sound. Sometimes they need little weird variations of it.
What is your favorite Perry moment from season 5?
My favorite Perry moment from season 5, if I told you, I think Doofenshmirtz would have to kidnap me and take me to an undisclosed location because that's all secret information.
What does Perry the Platypus mean to you personally after all these years?
Kind of what the show means to me, which is the triumph of a good person and a can-do, smart, helpful, empathetic, smart, good person. There's something optimistic about him, always triumphing over any adversity, and that's inspiring.
What do you enjoy most about playing Isabella?
I think one of my favorite things about playing Isabella is that she can switch into commander mode and be in charge of the Fireside Girls, but then she also can immediately be overwhelmed with adoration for Phineas in the next breath. And in the new season, you'll have to watch out for a particular episode. The Fireside Girls and Isabella go wild. So you see different sides of their personalities that you've never seen before.
What was your initial reaction to Isabella's iconic "What You Doin' catchphrase?
I believe when we were in the studio, we were just playing with different melodies and sing-songy ways of delivering the line, and we had no idea that it was going to become a catchphrase. But now, when I'm out and about, I hear people coming up to me, loved ones, strangers, and they all introduce themselves with that phrase. So credit goes to Dan and Swampy for having the ear to know what line was going to be iconic.
What was your favorite episode in Phineas and Ferb?
I would say it's got to be Karma, Chameleon, which is the episode with squirrels in my pants.
Do you relate to your character, Vanessa, in any way?
Too much. I always joke that I kind of just was Vanessa. The role sort of was created for me. You know, my dad was one of the writers on the original series, and he was always kind of roping me into his wacky schemes and being like, hey, Liv, you know, come do this thing, come be in this skit, come do these backgrounds on this song. So I just sort of whatever dadded my way into the role. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Thanks to everyone from Phineas and Ferb Season 5 for talking with us today. Be sure to look for it on Disney Channel on June 5th and June 6th on Disney+. I'm Kennedy.
And I'm Carter.
Reporting for Kids First. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for the latest entertainment news from us and our remarkable teammates.